So there is a controversy online because Turning Point USA just said that they were coming out with the Women's Leadership Summit. And it sounds like it will be something that would be a great idea. Wouldn't it? Wrong. It's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea because, first of all, conservatism doesn't need more female leadership. I'll be the first to say it. I don't care what you think. That's not what conservatism is all about. What are you conserving at this point? What are you conserving if it's not for more strong male leadership? You really want women to be leading this country? Let's just be real. Is that what conservatism is about? And they would argue yes. I think they really would argue yes. I don't want no more female leadership. I don't want no more covert feminism in the conservative movement. We don't need that. You say, well, who's going to lead the young women? The same people who have always done when America used to be great. The strong male leadership in their families and their households. You can have women, or like just like the Bible says in church, older women can teach the younger women, but you don't need a whole leadership summit teaching women to be strong and brave and courageous. That stuff is goofy, man. I don't want to see no more of this. And second of all, this ain't even the overall point of this video. They invited Nala Ray. We already did a video on her. Can you please stop? If you don't want people to talk about you, Nala, why do you keep on coming back in the public sphere? Just to speak a little bit on Nala Ray, everybody knows she was the girl in the whatever podcast with the red hair who said she became a Christian, but she just cannot stay out the spotlight. She made her little sexy baking video, and now she's being exposed by Lotto Crowder. Maybe I'll do a segment on that this week. But she got exposed because people just really dug into her past and saw she was speaking at this leadership summit, and they exposed that the time that she got baptized, right after that, she still was doing OnlyFans stuff, promoting her OnlyFans, still putting sexual stuff out there. You couldn't stop twerking your butt for a week? It's insane. Anyways, so they're doing the leadership summit. And it just made me think. There was so many people on their panel, including Nala Ray, that they broadcast themselves as conservatives, conservative women, but really they're covert feminists in disguise. They stand for women empowerment. They stand for women telling people what they should and shouldn't be doing. They're these loudmouth, tone policing type women that always got something to say about what everybody else is doing instead of actually listening to their husband. They would all have a problem if you said, "Hey, should you obey your husband in all things?" They would all say no. I don't think not one of these ladies on the panel would say, "Yes, I should obey my husband as unto the Lord." Guess what? That's the Bible. That's what the Bible says. It shouldn't even be no discussion. All these women who claim to be Christians, and not one of them I really think would really stand on what the Bible actually says. Now, I thought I would have some fun with it because like I said, if all these women are at this leadership summit, what would be the best debate team to go crash their summit? And so I don't know, Mr. Producer, if you want to pull up, let me see. The I would love to see this one. It's just a photo. Yeah, either that one or the other one. But yeah, you can pull that one up. You can keep that one up. So these are some of my people that I watch. I would like to see this. I would like to see this the debate go on. So the people I would select, if I could only select three, who would I select? So I want to go through a lot of the debate strengths and weaknesses each of them have because these are some of the people that I watch. These are some of the people that I find entertaining. That don't mean I listen or agree with everything they say. Some people, I don't like him because he said this. That doesn't mean they're not entertaining. That don't mean they're not intelligent. That don't mean they're not good debaters. These are some of the people that I've seen their debates, and I say, okay, this guy has some knowledge, or this woman is very intelligent. So let's go through one by one. The first one, number one, Cooley from No Fugazi podcast, very intelligent young man. He's done a lot of debates. I think his strengths are he's very knowledgeable and he stays stoic in his personality. He's pretty good about like sticking on topic and also not getting emotionally involved. I rarely see him fly off the handle. and he's pretty smart, man. Like, don't let him fool you with the shades and stuff. Dude's he's pretty intelligent. I've heard him debate. I don't think he's the best debater on the panel, but I think he's going to get better the more he debates and the more he understands. I don't know how well he's informed with, like, I've been on the debate team before, so like the laws of logic and you know how to approach an argument. I think he'll get better with time, but he's pretty good. Second one, she's a beast. This is Rachel Wilson. This is Andrew Wilson's wife. She's very intelligent. Wrote the book Occult Feminism. Very, very smart. Very smart. I can't. That's an understatement. I think she's like a perfect person to debate feminism and to attack a group like this. If you were going to debate some covert conservative feminist, she is perfect for that because not only is she married to Andrew Wilson, but she goes against everything that they stand for. She is married. She's a Christian. She's Orthodox Christian. And she also is very knowledgeable about the history of feminism. And she really is really good at wrecking those the debates where people are like, well, third wave feminism is not is way worse than first wave feminism. She destroys that debate because she goes into a lot of historical facts that a lot of people did not know. I watched a lot of interviews by her, and she's really, really good. Do I think she's the best on the panel? Would she be on my team? I don't know. I don't know. But she's really good. I seen her do some debates with her husband, and they were a really good team too. She kind of defers to him, which a woman should do, but she's really good at like debating on her own as well. Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh. Very funny in that real dry white boy humor type of way, where they say something very awkward and just sit back and look at you until you laugh. That's the type of humor he got, but I think he's super funny. I think when it comes to intelligence, he's smart, but I don't think that's his go-to is like being so knowledgeable. I think his go-to is making logic as simple as it possibly can be and presenting it to you and showing you how if you can't answer this such basic simple question, your philosophy has flaws. And he did that with What is a Woman. He does that all the time with like just presenting a simple question and it shows you all your logical flaws in your argument. He's does really good. But I would not put him in my debate team because I don't know if he's necessarily a debater. I've seen him go on like Piers Morgan, or I don't know if it's Piers Morgan, but a couple of other shows, and he did okay, but I wouldn't put him as like the top go to guy that goes at somebody's neck or destroys an ideology. But he has been doing some really good videos as of recently covering a lot of the feminist nonsense that's going on the conservative movement. Or Nick Fuentes. Why did I put him over there? He's the most he's probably by far, I think on this list, other than Andrew Tate. He's the most controversial because he's very big on the JQ question. And that's what I think I don't like about him, to be honest. I don't think you need to focus so much on that. I think a lot of people focus on those Middle Eastern people far more than they should, in the same way that black people who blame white people for everything focus on white people too much. I think, but I do think I don't want to down play him too much because I put him on the list because not only is he very intelligent, but he just has this really he got this funny attitude where it's like he says things in this matter of factly, like high pitched voice. Well, that's not what it is, and you be like, well, but he be spitting sometimes. He says some true facts, especially when it comes to feminism and social issues. There's some things I agree with him on. There's a lot I don't agree with him on. I would love to have an IQ debate or Christianity debate with him because he's a Catholic. I don't. Some stuff I don't like. He doesn't believe in race mixing and stuff like that. I think that's stupid, and I don't see what biblical argument he could have for that. Especially if you read how a lot of the Christians, early Christians, and people like Moses, absolutely race mixed. But I think that he will be a good debater. I think he would, and I think some of the reason why I do like listening to him debate when he's in the right is he has no problem throwing a punch. He does not pull punches. You insult him, he will insult you right back. He does not care about being politically correct at all. The next one. I could say the same thing. Myron Gaines. Myron Gaines is like one of the oh, the women hate him so much. They hate him, but this for the same reason that I like him. Do I agree with everything he says? Absolutely. I don't agree with everything any of these people on the panel say. Not everything, but I agree with a lot. I agree with a lot because he comes from a red pill standpoint. But the thing that I like about him and what makes him a good debater is one, he does not let people take him off his square. Now he does, he can lose his temper. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about when it comes to facts and evidence, when it comes to sexual dynamics, he knows his statistics and he knows them really, really well. In fact, I don't know many people that could debate sexual dynamics, like the differences between men and women and how it affects society better than he does. He's really good at presenting the argument as to what women do versus what men do and how it will affect society. He's pretty good at that. You can't take that from him. What does let me see, what is Myron's uh, he's a pretty decent debater. He could get better. He can get better and he's doing stuff like going on tours and stuff like that. I think that will make him a more a stronger debate person. He'll be stronger at his arguments. And then also, I would, you know what, if I had to debate Myron, the topic that I think I could beat him on absolutely is Islam versus Christianity. He's not necessarily a Muslim, but he comes from a Muslim family. And I would ask him, why have you not become a Christian yet? The logic is right there, man. Like the logic of being a Christian. We know you don't want to, but if it's all based on logic, you should have been became a Christian by now. Anyways, the person right next to Myron, Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels, really good. I seen him in some debates. A couple debates like he did with that wannabe pastor dude who was talking all that feminist nonsense. And he does a lot of debates on his Anton Daniels show with a bunch of women. He's really good at, man, he goes on these tirades, right? He goes on these rants. And I'm telling you, dude, his rants should be a lot more viral than they actually are. When he goes on a rant, he be spitting. He be spitting that hot fire. He man, it's like watching Bruce Lee in a room full of ninjas. He just be whooping everybody. And the thing is, he don't be missing a beat. Everything he say, I'd be like, that was true, that was true, that was true, that was true. He be killing it. Anton Daniels, he when he gets on a roll, I think it takes him a little bit to get into it, but when he gets on a roll, he is a great debater. My next is one of my favorite, Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy, people hate him. They done took him off the internet. They done kicked this man off. He started a OnlyFans just so he can do his show, and they kicked him off of that. He's been off of YouTube for more than 10 years now because what he says is so dangerous. His main stick, and why I think he would be great in a debate like this, is all he focuses on is the detriment that black women have to society. That's all he focuses on. But he also did a more broader documentary called A Fatherless America, and he knows his facts. Here's the thing about Tommy, and I don't think he get enough credit, man. Not only is he insanely funny, I would never enter a roast battle with him. Never enter a roast battle with him ever. Never. I see people lose their lives trying to roast with Tommy. Second thing that he does, other than being extremely funny, is he's passionately he has a passion about what he believes. So you know when he's saying something authentic because he's so passionate about it. Now you may think that's a small thing and that doesn't affect because the debates aren't based on feelings, they're based on facts. But when you couple that with facts and you couple that with the fact that he knows what he's talking about, whether it be statistics, whether he can give you these stories, he's I would say that he does have a lot of like anecdotal stories and things like that, but he's still a very good debater because he'll put you in a logical, he'll just ask you, what about this? Or why do they do this? Or why does that happen? Or why don't we do this? I think a lot of people have stolen arguments from him and they don't even realize they're from him. Like when he talks about men should be able to have financial abortions because women are be able to have regular abortions and men have no say in that. That argument came from him. And whether you believe in abortion or not, that argument was he created so much for he created. I've been watching him for a long time. He created the phrase "hobosexual." That came from him. He created like, dude, he created so much stuff. People don't even know. But since he hasn't been on the internet, people have stolen a lot of his stuff and they take it and run with it. Kevin Samuels took a lot of his stuff, and I did like Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels should have gave him his credit. But a lot of people stole stuff from him, and they don't realize it actually came from him. But he's insanely intelligent and one of my favorite. He would be on my team. Um, whole math is the next. The one he never shows his face. He's the one with the little girl avatar. Very, very, very smart. And the reason why I liked him is because my father always taught me that if you are intelligent, if you're really smart, you can break down complex concepts and make them simple and present them to an audience. And I hope that I do that with this channel. But I've seen Whole Math. He does this excellently. He broke down what is it called when women go for the highest man? I forgot what it's called. It's a term, I forgot. But he broke that down in a way that's like that where I'm like, he just broke it down in a way where I'm like, dude, this could be taught in a college class. And he does it with little pictures too. So that always make me like him. Only thing that would make him not a good debater is I don't think he goes into open debates. He argues a lot on Twitter, but he doesn't show his face. So that's a big negative. And I think he wants to keep his anonymity. So I think that he probably wouldn't be good to just go head to head with somebody because it does mean more when you see people's facial expression and actually when you especially when you see somebody get flustered or see somebody throw make a good comment and their facial expressions do mean a lot. My number 9, he got to be on my team. This guy got to be on my team. He been on a tear lately. Andrew Wilson. Oh my goodness, dude. I don't think they would stand a chance. I think, in fact, this is how bad that's a bad man right there. I think Andrew Wilson could probably take on the whole TPUSA by himself if he wanted to. I don't know if you ever seen an anime where like the bad guy come out and you like or Darth Vader when he come out and everybody's scared. That's how they would be if Andrew Wilson walked up in there. He's just his strengths are he understands debate techniques very well. He understands them. He understands the rules of logic. He understands fallacies. He understands how to do that so well that here's his superpower. I'm gonna tell y'all. He probably don't want people to know this. His superpowers are putting you in scenarios that you can't get out of. He puts you in these scenarios where if no matter if you answer yes or no, you will be making a grave mistake. he makes these he makes these hypotheticals that even when he says it, I remember watching one of his debates, and a lot of times when he's debating a feminist, they don't know the logical trap he's put them in. And I'll be looking at it like, ooh, you better not answer that. You better not answer because you know, no matter if you answer yes or no, you will fail. You're going to either prove him right or say something so crazy that is so that people won't trust you anymore. He does that very well, and he loves his hypotheticals is like his superpower. All right, next one. So he will be on my team as well. Andrew Wilson will be on my team. Next one, Pearly Things. Pearly Things is getting better at debates. I think out of everybody on the list, I would say she's like bottom tier to be honest, because she kind of steals a lot of people's stuff and a lot of people's arguments. And okay, it sounds like I'm about to bash Pearly Things, but this is just true. She takes a lot of people's arguments and she doesn't necessarily present them as great as the original person who produced the argument. But she's still trying and that sounds so that sounds like I'm just giving her a hand out. She's trying. No, it's not that she's just trying. It's that she's putting a lot of these arguments together and she learns in a way where she's taking stuff from Tommy. She's taking stuff from Matt Walsh. She's taking stuff from Andrew Will. She's taking stuff from Rollo Tomasi. She's taking stuff from Andrew Tate and she puts it all together and works her philosophy is like an anti-feminist philosophy and she's been doing pretty good. I saw her debate with Lola Rose, and I think that's her name, Lila Rose or whatever. And she did pretty decent, man. She interrupts and gets a little bit like you. Sometimes you see the female coming out of her, where I'm like, just let the person talk. But she's going if she works on it. Like, say she works with Andrew Wilson or debates somebody like Cooley back and forth. She will get better at her craft and she'll be a good debater in no time. No time. Next person, and this is simply for entertainment alone, just to see people's heads explode. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, as far as a debater, he's intelligent. I don't care what people say. They hate on dude. I'm not necessarily saying, like I said before, I don't agree with everything the man says, but it's a lot of stuff he says that's true. And more important than being true, the man is entertaining, dude. I have watched plenty of his sit down, whether it be his podcast, whether it be him talking about like where he's talking about like, oh, this is my philosophy on this. I can't imitate his voice, but it's just entertaining. The dude is funny, man. He's funnier than most comedians. I remember he one of the few people that made me get up out of my chair laughing. When I remember he did this podcast and he was talking about a girl talking about does she wish she was a robot. His response, I nearly started crying. I was laughing so hard because he's funny. Dude is funny. He's very direct, very blunt. And here's the other thing that people will expect him. People would expect him to be rude, but he's pretty much a gentleman in a debate. He'll debate you, but I've never seen him lose his cool. He usually stays stoic. He knows a lot of facts you would not expect for him to know, and he's super entertaining. I think to see him debate feminist or see him debate, even conservative feminists would be very, very funny. That's it. Last one, the Godfather of the Red Pill, or so he called. Rollo Tomasi. Rollo Tomasi is very knowledgeable. I don't necessarily think he's a debater, but by his knowledge alone, I think him coupled with a person like Myron, who, in my opinion, is a decent debater, decent to pretty good, like, A or B tier. I think if you couple him with somebody like Myron, where he can just spurt off facts while Myron takes those facts and attacks the person, I think he will be a good subject. Like he needs to only here's some of his downfalls, and this is why I would put him on lower tier. He does tend to go on very long tirades because he's a book writer, not a debater. So he wants to explain himself in paragraphs. And I'll be like, dude, can you just get to the point, man? I don't want to hear long diatribe. But he does do that. And Jordan Peterson does that as well. And a lot of people who are these like intellectual types who really think about the whatever praxeology or theology or like what makes something logical and the ins and outs of how it works, they do tend to talk like that and it can be tiring, but it's not good for debate because somebody in debates, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes you do got to be quick with it. Sometimes you got to sometimes you got to do slam dunk on somebody. Sometimes a gotcha is good in a debate because it's perfect for a zing where it's like, I exposed you and kid somebody off guard. I don't think he can do that, but I think he's very knowledgeable. All of those are people that I watch. All of those are like influencers. I think anybody who wants to debate could learn from. There's probably some people I miss, but these are the people that I generally would say if you want, whether you agree with them or not, you could learn a lot from their debate styles and going back and watching their old debates. So I don't know if that will ever happen. I highly doubt it, but you we can hope that one day that'll happen.